What's up, guys? This is Clint Coulter, and today I'm going to be evaluating some college level hitters. And I can really tell these guys who had college level swings just based off the consistency of their balance and their path. You know, you watch big league hitters train, and they're not max effort trying to just crush balls all the time. Most of the time, they're trying to be consistent and see how often they can repeat the same swing. Because once you get in a game, you got pitches coming at so many different angles. If you can link up your hand-eye coordination, knowing that this is where your path's going to be, you're going to have a lot better results throughout the course of a season. And that's what professional scouts, that's what college coaches are looking for. They're looking for someone that can come into their program and produce at a high level right from the get-go, as well as develop and work throughout the program and the different teachings that they're going to bring to the table. But they're looking for somebody that already has their game down to a pretty high level. So at the end of this video, I'm also going to talk about what I do on a daily basis and some of the things that I think that everybody should start incorporating into their daily routines. So look forward to hearing what you guys think about this video. And as always, hit me up on social media and let me know what you think. And let's get into the video. Thanks. So this first guy we got is Donahoe 99 on Twitter, and his first name's Jordan. And this guy's the epitome of just a sweet, smooth left-handed bat path. This is a guy that it's like a cheat code. He gets away with a lot of stuff because his bat path's so clean and smooth out front, high finish, all the things you're looking for. But what I got with Jordan here that he got to work on is he's overloading on his backside. So he starts pre-cocked on his backside really well, but then part of his timing mechanism is he loads even further, and then what that ends up doing is puts him in a position where he has to fire everything at once because he's stuck back here. So he's here, loads, and then because he's got to fire everything at once, he ends up just spinning on this backside. Instead of getting through it, it ends up becoming a spin like that. So what I'd like for him to do is to either start more middle and coil into that backside into his stride so he can get off it, or start where he's comfortable, where he's already pre-cocked, and think more coiled down instead of a visual back, because you're having to essentially time your timing twice perfectly to get off your backside. So if you're ever late, you're going to get stuck back there every time. So think here, coil down. That's what Christian Yelich does. He's a good example you should look up. Is he kind of starts here, then he coils down into his load and is ready to go forward aggressive. And then he comes off his backside really well and against his front side. So, and what this is going to help too is with your pitch recognition. That's what I got in my notes here is your pitch recognition is going to be not as good because you're going to have to commit sooner. Because your body feels, the only way to hit is to get off that back foot, but the only way as far as your weight goes and the only way to swing at good pitches is to see them longer. So if you're having to make earlier decision to get off your backside, your pitch recognition is going to go down. So this is going to not only improve your hitting, but also your pitch recognition. So the last thing I got written here for Jordan is I'd be curious to see what type of outs he's making. A lot of hitting is not necessarily what you are doing, but what you're, or what you feel you're doing, but what you're actually doing. So if you're making, a lot of pop-up outs, you could feel like you're swinging down on the ball, but if you're popping the ball up, you're obviously not doing that. So I'd be curious to see what type of outs he's making. So let's check out this next guy. So this next guy is at Bulli, and that's with 3 O's. And this guy right here is a beast. He reminds me of Jose Abreu on the White Sox. And you can tell, and I also got a comparison to Bregman. That'd be a good guy for him to kind of emulate. They're very similar, really strong, more tight-bodied. I'm similar to that too. More of a tight-bodied swing, which is good. I think it's a very repeatable way to swing. But he's got to work on his extension through the ball. This is a really good guy that I could see college scouts and even professional scouts going, man, if we can unlock this guy's power a little more, this guy could be really, really dangerous, because you can tell that he's a strong guy and definitely has bat speed. But so normally with extension, I would look at your lower half, but the first thing I noticed with his lower half is you see a scissor. So a lot of guys that do this are Mike Trout, Miguel Cabrera, a lot of those elite hitters is you see their backside, instead of just coming inside like that, like your typical swing, you see them scissor. This back foot comes this way. So that's how you know that their backside is coming inside the ball. So they're here, and their back foot almost scissors. So I seen that and I was like, all right, his backside's doing all right. I'm not too worried about that. But then as I worked my way up, I could kind of see that he wasn't getting great separation. So he was getting the ball pretty deep, and he has to get it deep because once he gets out here, he's getting off the ball. He's not getting extension through the ball. So a good thing with that is to work on your separation, because right now he's getting here and he's not separating. This right here, he's here, and he's more of a whip guy, which is fine, but you still got to separate. You got to whip, separate. Right now he's kind of here and whipping at the end. So he's like that. It's like that, swinging, and then off of it. So he's really got to work on his extension out through the ball. And what I wrote down here too is flexibility. There's so much that can be fixed in your swing if you just work on overall body flexibility. And like my swing has changed, and I think a big factor of that is my flexibility throughout the years has improved dramatically. So when I first signed professionally, my hips were pretty tight. So I'd done a lot of lifting and stuff growing up, and my hips had pushed my hips this way. So in my swing, it was hard for me to get extension out through the ball that way with my hips. So one thing that you guys can work on is really work on your hip looseness, and that right there could clean up a lot of the problems in your swing, and just overall looseness. You know, you're gonna get better extension if your chest isn't tight. So if your chest is looser, you're gonna be able to clear that chest and get out front. So another thing that could help tie too, and especially big, strong guys, whenever you're a big, strong guy, especially with big chest muscles, is you gotta clear this back arm over your pec. So if you grab the bat and you go right into your swing and you just hold your hands back, your pec's gonna block your arm. Because you're here, you're not gonna get very good separation because you're gonna be tight. But if you take your arm over your pec, I'll show you the difference. So I'm here and I go to reach for my bat. Right there's about as far as I can go. My pec's stopping me. But if I go like this and I put my arm over my pec, look at all the distance I just gained. So that could be the difference of your separation right there. You know, a good example was Ichiro. He'd go like this and he'd bring his arm over his pec. I'm not sure if he did that because of that, but that's one of the things that he, you know, physiologically was doing, is he was coming here and putting his arm over his pec, and that just creates a looseness in your upper body right there. So yeah, I like his swing simple, very aggressive, and he's strong, so he gets it through the ball really well. But yeah, just needs to clean up his extension, keep his back feet going where he is, and really get through that ball. And I think he's gonna do some big things. So good job, Ty. Let's see this next guy. So this next guy is Andrew _kite, K-I-G-H-T 11 on Twitter. And this guy is a machine. He reminded me of Clint Frazier. He sent me a video of like 10, 15 swings, and this guy was just repeatable. Every swing, just driving balls, balanced. It was like pretty impressive. And I got wrote down, he's very handsy with his hitch. So he's got a little hitch in his swing, and he's what I would call a rock and go swinger. So he's here, he kind of rocks and then hitches and goes. So he's here, hitch and go. And the whole point of having a hitch is for power. Like that's a very powerful movement. Or if you're trying to be super simple. So like you see a lot of slap hitters, they'll get wide and they'll just be super handsy, and they won't really even separate or do a ton of body movement, but they're just kind of in here and they'll hitch and go. So it's either for mega juice, a ton of power, or oversimplifying it because you're kind of a slap hitter and you're just trying to keep it simple and put the barrel to the ball. So I kind of think Andrew's kind of stuck in between the two, because he's rocking back with a little bit of movement, but then he's hitching, but he's not coming forward very aggressive. He's super balanced. So I think he kind of needs to decide what type of hitter he's gonna be. Is he gonna be more of a gap-to-gap spray guy? And if he is, I'd widen out a little bit, keep it simple, don't rock and go as much, just kind of pre-cock it and kind of hitch it into your swing, and you're gonna have less separation, less power. But that's the type of hitter you are, that's fine. But if you're gonna be more of a gap-to-gap power guy, then you're gonna need to inevitably, either one, you're gonna need to kind of preload that backside, because rocking and going is setting you up to not separate. So I'd rather you here, and then instead of rocking back, you're already there. So instead of there, you're here, and then hitch and go. So I also got bat tilt. So this is something that hitters you got to be very careful with, is where this barrel's energy is going. So Andrew's, I'll do it from this angle, see better. Andrew's bat, when he hitches, is going this way. So that's another part of your mechanics and energy that you got to be aware and time perfectly. So if your energy is going that way, you got to get it back going this way for your energy to come around and whip back through the zone. So what I'd rather him do is do it like Barry Bonds does, and he's more in here and he's whipping the bat towards the pitcher. So his energy's at least on the same axis as where his swing's going. So he's here, there, instead of here, there. So you can see how you could make a bigger, you could make more mistake in your path by going there to there instead of there to there, and keeping the path a little more direct and simple. I got written down good leg preload, and that'll help your separation. So yeah, you guys would laugh. I got these guys, these college guys' swings and stuff are a little more advanced. So I had to really look close and dissect and nitpick their swings. So I got highlighters in different colors and stuff. But I really like this guy. I have written down here that he's got one of the best paths and direction, but I want him to just have a little bit more fun, loosen up a little bit, and attack. I want him to think more attack, because every time he hardly even moves his feet. He's just kind of here, swing. He's just like a little bit too mechanical. I like him to still be tight, and that's the type of hitter he is, but have a little bit more attack and have a little bit more fun coming out through the ball. And I see him smile in the video, so I know he's having fun. But I think he'd have a little bit more fun if he came forward and attacked the ball a little bit more. So good job, Andrew. A few things for you to work on, and let's check out this next guy. So this next guy is at Collegiate Trevor on Twitter. And this guy's the brother of the guy in the last video I did, Matt Collegiate. And this guy cracked me up. I've written down his swag 10 out of 10. He's got the Fury haircut going, lefty, nice swing. He's got music in the background growing his video. And he hit the ball and started smiling like, yeah, I crushed that one. So that's a good example too of, as a hitter, you gotta have swag. When you step in the box, you need to think that you're the baddest dude in town and you're gonna crush this pitcher. You don't care. You enjoy the competition. That's exactly what you're looking for. You know, it's easier for me, I think, when I know that this guy on the mound's a dude. Like, I respect him and I know he's gonna come at me with some stuff. And there's times where I step in the box and I'm like, man, I feel like I'm way better than this pitcher. He's not gonna get me. And you know, he gets me with that junk stuff or whatever, because I'm not locked in, because I don't respect him. So have swag, but always respect your opponent. You need to think that he's a stud and you're gonna go beat him. So don't overcommit your talents thinking that he's a jokester out there, because it'll come back to bite you real quick. But what I thought was cool too is I got written down Whalen brothers. So I grew up with 3 brothers, they're called the Whalens, and they pushed each other. You know, they were all similar age, a few years apart, and I thought it was pretty cool that Matt and his brother, he said Matt responded to me on Twitter saying they hit together all the time. And even if you don't got brothers, it's really cool to just find friends to hold each other accountable, you know, push each other in your workouts, make sure you guys are getting in the cage. And that really worked out for the Whalen brothers, and I think for these guys too. All the Whalen brothers have played professionally, so it's no surprise. So if you guys can create that atmosphere, especially at a young age, that's really important, that's really cool. So I got a good comparison for Trevor is Schwarber. That's a good guy for him to look at. And I played against Schwarber in low A, and this dude was a monster in the box. I was behind the dish and I didn't know what to call. I called everything besides kitchen sink, maybe even that too. And this dude would smash it. Ball would almost bounce. It was like, just walk him. This is the type of dude I was wanting to walk with the bases loaded. It was ridiculous. But that's a good, as far as advanced path too. Schwarber's a really good path. Got to look at. Got me out here sweating bullets. It's a hot one today. So I got down Miggy lean. So who I'm referring to is Miguel Cabrera. What Miguel does is he leans his head forward and then brings his body underneath his head. Instead of having his head back here, loading and bringing your head and your body forward. So what that's gonna do is create less movement so you can see the ball better. So I got, for Trevor to try a little Miggy lean where your head's pointed forward here. So he's left-handed, so he'd be like this. So he's here, and then bring your body underneath your head instead of rocking and moving that head forward so much. It's going to create inconsistency in how you see the baseball. Trevor's got a really good, strong front side. I got that written down. Yeah, he gets away with it because he has that strong front side. His foot gets down late. And normally your foot gets down late, it means that you're going to blow over that front side because you're not in a balanced, strong position. So he gets down kind of late and starts to swing right when it lands. But he gets lucky because he gets that lefty bat path and that balance that he really gets through it. But he's got to be aware, make sure that foot's getting down on time so you're not getting in trouble with that. And with the pitch recognition too, with the Miggy eyes, I got down separation. So because his path is so clean and smooth, he does start everything together kind of at once. He does rock and go a little bit all at once. So I would like him to focus on a little bit of separation in his swing, and that's going to help him with his pitch recognition also, and give him even more bat speed. So I want Trevor to be, instead of rocking and firing it all together, I want him to coil, lead with his elbow, and that foot's down, but his hands aren't moving. Right now, once his foot lands, his hands are moving too. I want him to get that foot down, start with that back leg, elbow, then your hands. And that's going to create whippy lag, and you're not going to have to fully commit once you start your swing. But yeah, keep doing what you're doing. This guy, I see really good things. I don't know how old he is exactly, but I bet you he's going to develop into a pretty powerful hitter. Put some weight on those bones, and he's going to be a big, strong monster. So let's see our last guy here. You can see all the notes I got on these guys, all the different colors. So this last guy is at Cannon with a K, so KANNONJC. And the first thing I got written on this guy is your barrel should be like a train, or like as far as speed. So I don't want your barrel to go from 0 to 100 once you start your swing. It should gradually get faster, just like a train. So it should be kind of slow. It's speeding up. And once you hit your bat path on plane, that's where you want to excel through the zone and have maximum velocity to your barrel through the zone. Because if you start back here and you start firing really hard with this backside, you're going to lose your separation for one, but you're going to lose your speed because you blew it all back here, and then you're going to end up, and that's why you see him coming up with his back foot too, is he's here and he's firing so hard, then he's blowing off his front side. I'd rather him come here smooth and stay through it like that, where your energy's going that way, instead of hard and then around like that. So, and that's a factor of, I've got written down too much lean back. He's leaning back real hard post swing, which is good. You see Lorenzo Cain, he leans back crazy hard, but that can get you into trouble too with spinning off balls and stuff. So I want him to kind of think of, watch Bryce Harper. He's a really good example of pre-hip cock and coming forward aggressive with that pre-hip cock, but through the ball, not around the ball. So I think that'll help clean up a lot of his stuff. I got foot turn in, and that's with his momentum. So let's go into the drill I got written down. So this drill I got written down for him is called the net drill. So you put your back up against the net in the cage, and you're gonna take swings and keep your barrel from touching the net. So it's really forcing you to stay inside and finish high on the ball. So you're here and you're finishing like that. You can tell if you're gonna roll over or you're spinning around the ball if you hit the net. So if you're here, you're obviously gonna be hitting the net. So this is really, really forcing you to stay inside the ball and finish high. And if you're real feeling froggy, you can go against the brick wall and see if you don't hit your bat. Don't hit it though, your mom might be mad. But yeah, you know, that back foot, is it back foot? Yeah, back foot turning in. This is the last thing I got for him is, what I'm talking about is his back foot right here is cocking in pre-swing. So I don't really like that because I'm over exaggerating here, but if I put my weight on my backside, where's that taking my energy? It's taking me out away from the plate, right? I'd like to do the opposite. You look at Trout and Miguel Cabrera, they have their back foot, look up video, their back foot's open. And that's because they're trying to take all their energy down through the plate. You're trying to go this way instead of cocking, putting your weight on your backside, and that's forcing you automatically just by putting your weight back there to start flying open. Most guys that cock their bat foot like that are what I talked about earlier, being more of a slap hitter. You're gonna cock it early because you're just trying to slap the ball and you want your hips to be able to fire really quickly because you want to be able to swing at really good pitches and be really simple. So you're here and you're just firing. But if you're more of a power guy like he is, then you're gonna be here with that foot open, and you're gonna wanna come here and come inside the ball, hip extension, hard against front side and through the ball. But yeah, so with that cocked hip too, it'll prevent that knee from bowing out. So you see a lot of hitters is they'll load their backside and they'll be in a really good position, and this knee will bow out to create a little bit of separation and power. And I used to do that my first few years of my career too. I'd get my foot down, and then right before I swung, I would bow that knee out to get a little more whip in my swing. So I think you can prevent doing that by one, opening that back foot a little bit so you're not feeling like you got to create some power because you're kind of stuck. So opening that up, preloading that hip, and working on that separation. Getting that separation away from your body inside, and then working on that drill, that back net drill. So that's all I got for you guys. You guys got any questions? I'd appreciate it, but we'll see you guys next time. So what I want you guys to take away from this video is bat speed's a luxury, but it's not a necessity in your swing. You know, it's always nice to have really whippy hands, but you can impress college coaches and scouts just as much by having a real consistent, smooth path. That's something they can project at the next level and work with. And how you do that is tee work. That's kind of my bread and butter and something I do every day. You know, I take pride in having a really clean bat path and really working on that. And that's what I'm going to do in my next video. So you guys be looking for that. I'm going to take you guys through the drills I do and what I think you guys need to be doing too on a daily basis, and kind of the thought process going through each drill. So I hope this video was really helpful for you guys, and just always be thinking too, when you're around people in the game that have experience and you know that they know quite a bit and have had success, either coaching or playing, you need to really pick their brain and pull questions out of them and answers, and really try to force their hand on telling you things, because so often they might say something that they don't even realize that they do or they know that really resonates with you, and you apply to your game, and that takes you to the next level. So as always, you guys hit me up on social media if you got any questions or ideas for future videos, and I appreciate you guys watching the whole video, and shoot me a subscription and thumbs up, and we'll see you guys next time. Appreciate it.